the Ukrainian armed forces conducted an operation in the Kherson region to take out a terrorist organization named Antonovka. The operation was called off after the Ukrainian armed forces were unable to dislodge all fighters from Antonovka bridge. Though they took out most of the remaining terrorists, they were not able to completely destroy Antonovka bridge. Today, the remains of Antonovka bridge are still left standing. Here's what that means for you and me. Ukraine is now under Order No. 10,283, which makes it more challenging for any potential rebel force operating across its borders, at least until March 2022 when Orders No. 2022 and 2025 are repealed. In other words, this means that if you want to build a road or improve your infrastructure in the territory of Ukraine where Ukraine is negotiating with Russia over its military presence there, or any territory where both sides are at odds with each other, you will need special permission from Ukraine first and possibly receive approval from local authorities as well before you can work on that project. What is the new anti-terrorism law? Although the anti-terrorism law came into force in April 2016, it has been subject to several delays. The first was due to a disagreement between Ukrainian and Russian authorities over who should decide when the law would come into force. That disagreement has since been resolved and the new law went into effect on June 1, 2016. The law allows the United Kingdom and the United States to withdraw from the Russian Federation whenever they want, without any conditions or restrictions whatsoever. It also gives the Ukrainian government the right to negotiate a new agreement with Russia over military bases and other issues that were previously under discussion between the two sides. What does it mean for you and me? This new law makes it more challenging for any potential rebel force operating across its borders to build a road or improve its infrastructure in the territory of Ukraine. That includes both the military and civil sectors. In short, the law makes it more difficult for any rebel force to get permission from the authorities in their home country to build or improve their infrastructure in that country. And for all the same reasons that apply for construction on the European side of the border, this makes it more difficult for riders and farmers to get through the border. Not only that, but the authority responsible for enforcing this law has also been given a much harder time getting approval from local authorities. That has led to a backlog in the approval process, and it is currently being handled by the Security Service of Ukraine. How does this impact your everyday life? Construction on many commercial projects in western Ukraine can be extremely difficult because of the language barrier. This can make it very challenging to get permits and build large-scale projects across the border. So when construction on a bridge or road starts, you will probably have to show up at the border in a car or truck, which can be very difficult because there is no way to drive across the border in the early hours of the morning. There also isn't much traffic, so it is difficult to negotiate with border staff on how long the bridge will be open to traffic. Finally, there is the issue of property damage. As is often the case, your car or truck will get hit by a truck or car as you try to get from one end of the border to the other. This is often very wary drivers, who will often try to avoid the area in which their car or truck went off the road. This often results in a long delay while local authorities figure out what to do about the damage outside the border. Your rights as a traveler in Ukraine. You have the right to remain in the country until the authorities can take a complete record of you, including your name, address, documents, and any other information you are required to submit. You have the right to remain in the country for any length of time. No one has the right to take your passport or other documents without your permission. You have the right to be repatriated to your country if you are kidnapped, escaped from a torture camp, or are otherwise facing a security emergency. You have the right to stay in your country if you are under 15 years of age, or if you are considered an internal combatant. You have the right to appeal a decision on your permit if you are not satisfied with the application. You have the right to appeal a decision on a building permit or a road project without any restriction whatsoever. You have the right to appeal a decision on roads and bridges, even if you disagree with the decision. And you have the right to appeal a decision on other matters such as your marriage or the deposit of your child in a bank. How to get around in Ukraine under Order No. 10,283. For all the same reasons that apply for construction on the European side of the border, the best way to get around in Ukraine under Order No. 10,283 is to use a special permit. This permits you to drive a car or to live in a hotel room in Kiev without wearing your passport. There are a number of different types of permits that can be used to get around in Ukraine. There is an initial fee for the special permit and then a range of discounts and passes that you can use to maximize the value of your trip in each specific category. Follow World News Channel for more live updates.